You need any question on the previous topics?
No, they're all clear.
Awesome. So they will start with the topic 8.5, speaking about the early civilization of Africa. You have already covered some of these civilization in topic 1. So can you read the first paragraph, please?
Sure. Africa is the world's second largest continent, larger than Europe, China, and the United States. Combined, its geography is immensely varied, but certain features have had a major impact on its development. Its size and location have contributed to its range of climates, vegetations, and terrains, as well as the diverse cultures that developed within Africa.
So here we're speaking about Africa. Africa is the world's second largest continent. So of course, number one is Asia. Number two is Africa, which resides in the center of our planet. Africa is even larger than Europe, China, and the United States combined. So, if we bring the continent of Europe, all of it, along with the countries of China and United States, still Africa would be larger than all of them. But the question here is, why does this continent, Africa, looks like very small? Like if we go here, for example, to Northern America, and we see the United States, so it looks like the United States is greater than Africa, or even takes like half of Africa. Isn't that strange?
Yes. Which is bigger
Correct?
now,
What?
Africa or United States?
Which is what?
Bigger.
Take the United States, add China to it. See all of China,
Yes.
and add also Europe, all of Europe to both of them. And still, Africa is larger than all of that. The question here is,
Oh,
Salman, why in the
yes.
map, when we look at Google Maps, for example, okay, or here in the maps, the normal one would be even more clear. If we look to Google Maps or we look here in front of us, it looks like as if
It's small.
it's very small. So why is that? Like that's Africa, and here we have America, United States. So the size of America here is literally in this map looks like the size of half of Africa. But you're telling me that if you combine United States, China, and also Europe, still Africa will be bigger? Why? Do you know why?
Oh, no.
Okay. If you search in Google and you write the real world map, you'll be stunned that the map that we have already been taught is a false one, not true. And there is even so this is the map that we have today, correct?
Yes.
Like that's Africa here in the middle, this is America, and here we have China, and here we have Europe. But actually, if you go down here, you'll find out that this is the real map. Look here at the size of Africa compared to the size of America or the size of China or those divided countries in Europe. You'll find out that Africa here is massive,
It's
correct?
bigger than the others. Yes.
Why is that? Uh, our planet is a geoid one, or we live in a sphere, correct?
Yes.
That's a sphere. But when we look to Google Maps, oh, that's 2D, right?
Yeah.
So take for example a football or a volleyball or any spheric thing, 3D geode, okay, and try to stretch it to be 2D. What will happen? You'll
Will
find
be
that
bigger.
you are combining, making shrinking, making it small. The part in the middle, and you are enlarging the parts at the edges in order to become 2D. That's why here Greenland. Look at Greenland. Come on. We can even compare Greenland to all of Africa and the map, right? See the
Yeah.
size here, Greenland to the size of Africa. But in fact, that's Greenland. This is Greenland.
Oh.
That's all of Africa. So see the different sizes between both of them in the real map.
Yes.
So why is that? Because when we do what? When we try to change a 3D, any 3D object into 2D, so we do what? We stretch the edges. We enlarging them, making them bigger and bigger.
2D means bigger, right? Like bigger in size. If you if you
That's,
transform it from 3D to 2D,
yes, when you transform from 3D into 2D, it means what?
you're enlarging it.
You're enlarging what exactly?
The
You're
content or the
enlarging,
edges.
yes, the edges. That's why in all the maps you find Africa, what? In the center,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
When you open any map, you never find Africa on the left or on the right or up or down. Always you'll find it in the center. And this actually has some political reason. What is that political reason? Because simply bigger means
Smaller.
no, bigger mean how bigger means small. Huh? Bigger means what?
What?
Bigger means stronger. Correct?
Correct.
If you have a bigger land, so you're strong. Consequently, they would always try to shrink Africa to the eyes of the people because Africa, by the way, is the richest continent on our planet. Literally, the richest continent on our planet. So they try to make it looks like a small one. So meaning that it's not strong. And on the other hand, they make other countries very big in order to dominate power, in order to dominate.
Power.
Okay, got the
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
So back to our topic. So Africa itself is what? Africa is the
Second
world's
or second.
second continent.
Then what is the biggest continent then after that?
The biggest continent is Asia, the largest continent. Number one is Asia. Then you have Africa. Okay, because Asia also is a massive one. Asia starts from here down. You have the Arabian Peninsula, which we live in. This is the Arabian Peninsula, and goes up. Have also the subcontinent in India, China, Malaysia, Mongolia, up to Russia. So simply we can say that Asia is a massive continent, and Asia is linked to Europe by Turkey. So number one in size is Asia, and number two is Africa. Okay. All right.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what about the size and the location of Africa? If you look here to Africa, so that's the continent of Africa, and here it linked to Asia, and only separated from Europe by the Mediterranean Sea, And here we have the Pacific Ocean, divided from South America and also North America. And here down to it, that's the island of Madagascar. And down here we have Australia. So simply, Africa is in the heart of our planet, in the middle of our planet. And imagine that. Just imagine. If let's go here and enlarge that. Yes, and let's make it like this. Okay, and go here. Okay. Mm, Okay, let's take this one for example. Copy image, and let's go here. So understood this part?
Yes.
Okay, let's delete all of that. And let's come here. So, in the middle of our planet resides what?
Africa.
Africa, right?
Yes.
Can you remind me with the early civilizations? What are the
Uh,
first civilizations in the world?
let me.
Hmm,
Olmec.
Iraq. Here in Iraq, we had Sumerian civilization,
Ah, yes.
had the ancient Egyptian civilization, we had the Indian civilization, Chinese civilization, we had here the Greek civilization here in Greece. You have here the Maya, the Olmec, the Aztec, and this part, correct?
Yes.
In the middle of all of them, we have Africa, right?
Yeah.
Most important between any civilization is trade, how to link to the other people, correct?
Yeah.
So if I'm now here living in all of Europe and I need to trade with, let's say, India or even China, uh, so what do I do?
You're gonna need to go from the beach or from the
Yeah,
ocean.
bravo. So first of all, I need to link my goods using the bodies of waters, like for example, the Mediterranean Sea, the Red Sea, the Indian Ocean, in order to reach my goods to those parts. And in order to do that, I must go through Africa, because here you have the Suez Canal here in this part, linking the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea. So if I have a ship here coming from Spain, let's say, so it will move like this, go through Egypt here, and then the Red Sea, and from the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, in order to reach either India or even inside to China. Correct?
Correct.
So literally, Africa is in the heart of the planet, right?
Mm, mm.
And in order to just do anything or travel from somewhere to the other where even here you need to go through Africa. Consequently, the location of Africa played a vivid and vital role in its history. In its history.
History.
Remember when we said, for example, oh, the Sumerian people, they started by doing what? Sumerian people, bingo, bingo, bingo.
They they started by
Any civilization would, number one, try to do what?
farming.
Yeah, farming, and after that, they will try to, huh,
Um.
right? So they started from Sumer, and from Sumer, they controlled all of the Fertile
Right.
Crescent. And also, Here, they went to try to control Egypt, and other people came from like the Greek civilization. They started to make the colonies. The Roman Empire went down to control north of Africa. Later, the English people came to control Africa. Italy came to control Africa. Spanish people went to control Africa. Even some of the civilization here, like the one that we just took yesterday, the Seljuk Turks, came, controlled Baghdad and Damascus, and tried to go down to Africa. Also, the Mongols came to control Africa, but were stopped by the Mamluk Sultanate. So everyone wants to control Africa. So that's the question. Why do all of them want to control Africa? Because of just two words, which is
It's strong.
trade routes. Trade routes, or the ways or the
Which
roads of
which
trade.
means which
Arab,
means trade's gonna be easier for the other for them
ex-
to go all over the world, right?
yeah, if we have a ship coming from Italy here, for example, and it wants to reach India, so it must go through the Mediterranean Sea into Egypt,
Indeed.
Africa, and then the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, and then to reach India. Correct?
Yes.
And in order to pass through those countries in Africa, they must pay tax, right?
Yes.
So if they don't pay the taxes, consequently, they will not be what? They will not be admitted, or they will not go. Consequently, old people try to control Africa because Africa is what? A vital location. A vital look.
Location.
So that's why we say, yeah, Africa's history was determined by its location. Not only location, but also by the size and by the riches it has. So, early civilization of Africa, the geography of Africa. If we look to the map, this map, this map. Double click. Yes. No, I don't want these. Yep. Let's take this one, like a photo here. So, like, oh, okay. Snapchat this part. Okay. Okay. So, if you come closer here to Africa, we'll find out what do we have here in the middle of the planet.
We do have the imaginary line.
The imaginary line that is called,
Let me remember. I don't understand. I don't remember, I mean.
it's called,
Equator.
yes, bravo, myself. So the equator, as you know, is called an imaginary line. This imaginary line, let's just try to, okay, get it only here in this part. This imaginary line, let's say, okay, it's precisely in this location. What is the equator, boys?
It's a line where you in the center of Earth.
In the center of Earth, bravo. What
That
does
is
it?
sometimes called the imaginary line.
Yes, it's an imaginary line in the center of our planet. What is happening at the center of our planet? Why do we have this one? Or what is so
There is,
significant about it?
I remember it has something that, like,
Mm,
it has something that does with dirt, like deserts, next
mm,
deserts.
Deserts? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You studied in science that our planet, let's take for example this one, that one, and anyone here. Okay. So, what is the shortest distance on? Take this one is better. Copy. So, copy. Let's go here and delete and paste. So, of course, you know that our planet orbits the sun, correct? And of course, it orbits
Correct.
itself as well. But the Earth, by the way, is tilted by its axis by 23.5 degrees. So it's not straight like this. It's a little slopey to the right. Okay? But let's imagine that's our planet. Okay? And this is the sun. And of course, the sun radiates rays, right? The vertical rays that reach our planet are shortest at this part here. And this part in the middle of our planet is what?
The edge.
The equator. So simply imagine that. Imagine that. Okay? You are hitting someone who's 2 feet away from you, and you are hitting another one who's like 10 feet away from you. So which punch would be harder?
The shorter one.
The shorter one. And also the sun sends all of these vertical rays directly into space, and they reach our planet in different location, right? The shortest one or the shortest ray that reach our planet hits it at the equator, hits it at the equator. Consequently, the temperature here would be higher or in the North Pole or the South Pole.
No, the temperature in the equator will be higher.
So consequently, the highest temperature in our planet is at what?
The equator.
Is at what?
The equator.
So the equator goes here in the middle of Africa, and also the equator had the highest temperature. Mm. But if it had the highest temperature, mister, why it's very green? Like, I can't understand. If it does have that here in the middle, the equator, why it's super green here? And here in the north, for example, it's very yellowish, desert, Sahara. So why is that?
I remember that you explained it, but I forgot.
Okay, no problem. So we just now, boys, we agree on what? That in the middle
The highest
planet have
temperature.
the highest temperature, correct? With me, Saad?
Yes, teacher.
Awesome. So since I have the highest temperature here, oh, let's go a little bit here to the left or a little bit here to the right. I have what? Oh, here I have the Pacific Ocean and here I have the Indian Ocean, right? Both of them are bodies
Yeah.
of water. So what would the sun rays do to them? So
It would
since it's
actually help
short
them
one,
to
yes, you studied
gain
something that is called, huh? Remember the cycle of what?
water.
Right? What is the cycle of water?
Sun, water, something like this. Evaporation.
Exactly. So the cycle of water starts with what? With
Evaporation.
evaporation. So the sun rays hit our planet and hits the most at the equator. So it starts to evaporate the water from the oceans, and then water vapor would go up in the skies because once you go up, the degree of temperature decreases, so it starts to condense in a process known as condensation. Blown by the wind, they will start to gather, making clouds, and different temperature between zones will result into precipitation or rain. Rain goes down again and starts all of that process. So the question here is rain a sweet water or a salty one?
A sweet one.
And sweet water results in huh,
Condensation.
condensation up in the skies. Sweet water does what? Do we
It
drink salt water or sweet water?
sweet water H2O.
When we farm with sweet water or salt one.
Sweet one.
So since you have here in the middle the highest evaporation and the highest condensation and the highest precipitation, consequently you have the highest water, and this water will result in what? In farming. That's
Yes.
what in the middle here of our planet we have a part known as what? The rain forests. The rain forests. So see this green area, very green one in the middle of Africa. Hmm.
It's called Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Oh, not about the country. I'm speaking about the whole area itself. So this
Yeah.
area here is called what? The rain forests.
Forest.
Why forests?
Because
Because simply it has the most precipitation. Consequently, it helps all groups, crops, or farming or agriculture to grow. Get the point?
yeah.
Above it a little bit up or down a little bit here, we're gonna have what? A little bit less rain. Consequently, this area directly next to the rainforests down to the south or up to the north is called the savanna. The savanna. And the savanna actually, savanna is a type of grass. It's a grassy land, which is a house for millions and millions of wildlife. So the grass is very tall at the savanna that even some animals can hide in it. Okay, so in the middle of the planet, we have the rainforests. Above it, we have the savanna. And once we go up, ah, rain becomes scarce. Consequently, we have the Sahara. Okay, got the point?
Yeah, thank you.
So in the middle of the planet or middle of Africa, we have,
The equator.
yes, and the equator results in the tropical rainforest.
Rain forest.
Okay, above
Yeah.
it to the north or south, we have,
Savannah, which has long grass that animals
yes,
can hide.
and above that, we have
The Sahara.
the Sahara. The Sahara
Uh,
is the largest desert in the world. Sahara is the largest desert in
the
the
war.
world. Okay, boys, any
Yeah.
questions so far?
No.
Unfortunately, the session is over and you need to catch your second session.
Okay,
Have
thank
a
you.
very nice time with you, boys. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Bye.
Inshallah.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.